Hello, Felix from Nintendo Life here, and today we're here to look at 14 of the most exciting games coming out in the month of September 2022, and boy, let me tell you, this month was packed. It was actually really hard making this list and figuring out what to include and what not to. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. Already the 1st of September we have the first game on the list, Anno Mutationem, and this is an immersive story that's set in a neon cyberpunk world where you play as Anne, a girl who's affected by a unique disease that she's trying to cure. It's a single-player action-adventure game with RPG elements, and it has this gorgeous pixel art style, but I've never seen anything quite like it. Anne is also an exceptional warrior, so you will of course get to use her skills in combat. There's also a small demo out right now that I've actually played, and I must say, it's not often that I play a game and just think, wow, the music, setting, atmosphere is just all on point. I just got so immersed in the little hour that I played the demo, so if this game looks interesting, please check it out when it releases, well, today. The day after, on the 2nd of September, we have LEGO Brawls, and this is LEGO's take on the classic brawling style gameplay, you know, like Multiverses or Nickelodeon All-Star Battle, but now it's with LEGO, and you have so many customization items that you can equip your characters, so no one character will be the same, unless you of course make the same character as someone else, then you know what I mean, but it's LEGO, there's so many different stuff, and it actually looks like a good time. Loads of different theme stages and different modes. You know, you have the regular Brawl Royale, but you also have stuff like Control the Point, where you have to keep the opponents out of that set zone to be crowned champion. Is this game gonna be any fun? Well, I don't know. There isn't a demo on this like there was on Anno Mutationem, so I guess we'll just find out when the game releases the 2nd of September. On the same day as LEGO Brawls, we have another fighting game, but this one is going to be quite different. It's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R. It's a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fighting game. It looks like it's very similar to Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, but it's with JoJo characters, so there is a couple of twists in gameplay and how all the characters function. And speaking of characters, there are 50 playable characters in total, all from the JoJo series. Oh, a thing I forgot to mention is that this is a remaster of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle, you know, no R, that came out in 2013, and it looks like they're adding loads of new features and just quality of life improvements and, you know, better visuals. Yeah, I didn't know about this game before that, and it just looks like a really good time. Visual art style really captures the art style of the anime, even voice acted by the same Japanese voice actors. I myself haven't watched JoJo's before, but it's always intrigued me, and this just looks like a really polished and well put together game, so I can't wait to try this out when it releases the 2nd of September. The 4th game on the list is Temtem, which is releasing the 6th of September. Do you like Pokemon games? If yes, Temtem might just be the game for you. If you sit there and think, wasn't Temtem out already? I swear I heard something about the game a couple of years ago. And you are correct. Well, sort of. It was an early access release on computer, but now with the 1.0 version, it's finally coming to Switch. It's a monster taming MMO, and it doesn't shy away from being inspired by Pokemon. Pokemon games are usually single-player oriented, but this game is taking the complete opposite direction. Since this is an MMO, you play this game together with your friends. You can also have your own house, go raiding together with other players for mystical Temtems, or just battle it all out with your Temtems against your friends. If you always dreamt of playing Pokemon games with your friends, this might just be the game for you. On the 8th of September, we have BPM Bullets Per Minute. It's an first-person shooter roguelike game, but with a twist. Every movement you do is to the beat of the music. You reload, you jump, shoot, dodge, everything matches to the beat. It's like Doom met Crypt of the Necrodancer, and by the looks of the trailers, it just feels and looks amazing. The story is that you must overcome 7 bosses, and you get to these bosses by shooting your way through randomly generated dungeons. I have heard reports, because this game has been released on other systems before, that the colors and filters might make your head hurt, but you know, that is from person to person, so just be wary of this if you're picking this game up when it releases here in September. Number 6 is Splatoon 3. probably many people's highlight of this month, and it's releasing the 9th of September. Splatoon 3 just looks to improve on everything Splatoon 2 did. New weapon types, new stages, new specials, Salmon Run being available at all times, a new card minigame that reminds me a bit of how The Witcher has Gwent and now Splatoon has, well, this. The way you play with friends is also... at least from playing the Splatfest demo, that was just so easy compared to Splatoon 2. You just open a room and then boop boop boop, and your friends are in, and there's so many different ways to access these rooms, and while you wait to be matched up, instead of in Splatoon 2 where you just wait at the screen, now you have a training area that you can go around and use the weapon you're going to be splatting with. You can also skip the news! Yeah! Oh my god, that was probably my most requested feature for Splatoon 3, and you do so with this sea cucumber phone. I don't even know what to call it, but you can go around doing other things while you listen to the news, sort of like a podcast. Splatfest also introduced this time around Tri-Colored Turf War, and that's the first time we're having that in a Splatoon game. The way it works is that there's one team with 4 players and then 2 teams with 2 players, and they might have to tweak that because it was a bit unbalanced, but you know, they had the right idea, and I myself had so much fun when I tried it out in the demo. Splatoon 3 is on many people's radar, so it's safe to say that many of us are extremely excited to play this game when it releases the 9th of September. Number 7 on this list is Bear and Breakfast. You might think, wait, wasn't this scheduled for previous month? And yes, this was supposed to come out the 28th of July, but was delayed in the last second because the developers said that the controller aspect of the game didn't feel as good, so they wanted to tweak that, and I respect that. And now it's coming out the 15th of September. You play as Hank the bear that tries to run a bed and breakfast as best as you can, and you know, you're being a bear, so that might complicate things a bit. It's a management adventure game, so you know, you go around and manage your bed and breakfast, but there's also some adventure aspects of the game that I think is best being explored by yourself. As your business expands, so does the mysteries of the forest. Ooh. Yeah, it just looks like this game has multiple layers and the adorable art style. I'm a big fan of art styles like that. So if you like management games, this game should definitely be on your radar. And at number 8 we have Return to Monkey Island. This is a game that's going to be very special to many people because there was 2 Monkey Island games released in the early 90s, and then they made a couple of more games in that series, but the first 2 games was written and directed by Ron Gilbert. And you'll be very pleased to hear that he is also behind Return to Monkey Island. The game continues the story of the first 2 games, and you play again as the main protagonist, Guybrush Threepwood. If you don't know what this game is, it's a humor-based point-and-click adventure. And you know, point-and-click adventures aren't for everyone, but I myself grew up with loads of point-and-click adventures, so I'm actually really excited to try this out. Pirates, puzzles, and bizarre adventures are all gonna stand in your way, but if you click the right places, that's gonna be your way to glory when this game releases the 19th of September. A couple of days later, on the 22nd of September, we have OneShot World Machine Edition. OneShot was a game that was released way back in 2016 for computers, and it has basically been stuck there ever since. Right up until now, of course. But why has it been 6 whole years for this game to come to the Switch? Well, it's because of the game's premise. A lot of the game revolves about messing around outside of the game's window, and it's hard to translate stuff like that onto a console. But what they've done here is actually really clever. So, on the game on Switch, there will be a virtual desktop, so it will be a little bit different experience than playing it on a regular computer, hence the World Machine Edition in the title. The thing is that if you want to play this, it's actually best to know as little as possible going in, because all the people who've played this say that the blinder, the better. That sounded better in my head. This is a single-player adventure RPG, but it's so much more than that. I would say more, but I just haven't gotten around to play this game yet. And taking people's word, I don't want anything spoiled about this. I just want to go in as blind as possible. So if this game seems intriguing, stop. Don't look anything up. Just wait till the 22nd of September to play as Nico, the cute little cat that is the main protagonist in this game. The same day, we have a completely different game coming out, that is the DioField Chronicle. Square Enix is back with yet another SRPG, and on first glance it looks, well, kinda similar to Triangle Strategy, another SRPG released by Square not so long ago. But this doesn't have any pixel art, this has a much more realistic art style. And instead of the combat being grid-based, you have so much more freedom to move around just where you please. Attack from the front, or Mega Strategy where you corner the enemy and attack from all sorts of directions, the choice is yours. I myself am not the biggest fan of SRPGs, but I have a lot of friends that are, and people in general in the comments and all that seem super excited for this game. And luckily Square Enix usually don't miss with their SRPGs. One day later, on the 23rd of September, we have Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythm Festival! That was a horrible impression, I'm sorry about that. It's a Japanese rhythm/party game, and the premise of this game is that you have to time your hits to music. You have all sorts of songs, like Megalovania for example. Yeah, I know. 76 songs included, and 500 songs included in an in-game subscription service. I'm not sure how I feel about this subscription service on top of already paying for a game. It looks like they're just taking inspiration from Just Dance, but 76 songs is nothing to shy away from, and this game also has new modes like the Donchan Band, where you perform all together instead of battling against your friends. I myself had the previous release Taiko no Tatsujin Drum and Fun, and it's a blast to play as a party game when you have friends over. If you already have Drum and Fun, Rhythm Festival might not add a whole lot of new stuff to the table, but if you're looking to get into some Japanese drumming festivals party game, this is definitely a good entry point. And the number 12 game on the list is a game that was just recently announced. It's Shovel Knight Dig, coming out the 23rd of September. Yacht Club Games, the creators of the original Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, is back with the shovel-swinging knight, and we are all cheering. This just got a release date really recently, and it looks to have some new, more modern graphics, but still keeping intact that retro aesthetic. Jake Kaufman, the composer of Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, is back to do the soundtrack of this game, and if you've heard the original soundtrack, well, you know you're in for some banging tunes. The story seems relatively simple. Drill Knight attacks your camp, so you dig after him into the ground. Jump, slash, and instead of going, to the right or left hand side, you go in an all new direction, down. Every adventure is going to be different, because these dungeons change and shift around as they please, adding to some really good replayability. You're going to be finding new knights, characters and enemies, but the signature vibe and storytelling from the original Shovel Knight is still going to be present. The penultimate and 13th game on this list is the Life is Strange Arcadia Bay Collection, coming out the 27th of September. It's the first two Life is Strange games bundled into one, and these classic games have, well, not been on the Switch before. Now, I've heard some rough things about these remasters, the price being high, the visuals being even worse than the originals at some points, but even though it might not be the most beautiful or best way to play it, for many people who only have a Switch to game on, it's probably a great way to finally be able to play these two classics. For people who don't know what these games are, they are single-player games where you play as Max, a girl who can reverse time, in the first game, and Chloe Price in the second one, and the second one works as a prequel to the first one. They're a graphic adventure game, so if you like that sort of shabaffle, give this collection a try when it releases the 27th of September. And the last game on the list is The Legend of Heroes Trials from Zero. This game was actually originally released on the PSP in 2010 in Japan, and it's now for the first time coming to the West. This is the fourth game in the Legend of Heroes games, and it takes place between Trials in the Sky Trilogy and the Trials of the Cold Steel Quadrilogy. Yeah, there's 9 games in this series. You can play this game without the others, but just be wary that you will get some spoilers of the Sky Trilogy, the first 3 games in the series. These games are known for its extremely rich storytelling and world building. The plot summary is that it takes place in the city of Crossbell, which is sandwiched between two powerful nations who are trying to claim power over the state. You play as the character Lloyd Bannings, a rookie police detective who is assigned to the Special Support Section, or SSS shortened, and this is a special city police department who deals with odd jobs around the Crossbell. The gameplay is turn-based combat, where you move characters around this grid with some new team-based mechanics where you can team up to carry out more powerful attacks. Now, the only games of this series out already on Switch is 8 and 9. You know, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 are just not on Switch. But at least we have the 4th game here, and I know this game is highly anticipated by the Legend of Heroes fanbase because, yeah, as said earlier, this game hasn't been in the West before, so this is huge for that fandom. And I'm just really happy to see the comments on all the trailers of people just being so excited to try this game out. So if you're at all a fan of these types of games, this, I've heard, is one of the really great ones. So look forward when it releases the 27th of September. And yeah, that was the 14 exciting games coming out here in September. Are you picking up any of these games? Let us know down in the comments below. And if you like this video, why don't you press that subscribe button while you're tediously adding games to your backlog that are coming out in September. Stay safe, play some video games. Felix from Nintendo Life here, out.